Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about how you can completely change the feel of a room. Not with paint, not with furniture, but with a direct connection to the sky itself. You know, when you think about renovating a space, your mind probably jumps right to the walls, right? Or the floor, or the things you put inside it. But what if the single most impactful upgrade you could make has absolutely nothing to do with any of those? What if it's on the ceiling? Yeah, we are talking about skylights. They're this super powerful and honestly kind of overlooked design secret that literally opens your home up to the world above. Okay, so first things first, let's really get into the power of natural light. We're going to unlock all the benefits that come from bringing the outdoors in. And trust me, it's about so much more than just making a room brighter. It changes the entire feel and function of a space. It really boils down to four core benefits. First, and this is the obvious one, a huge increase in natural light, which just makes any space feel bigger and more welcoming. Second, you get improved energy efficiency, and we're going to circle back to that one in a sec. Third, the aesthetics are just incredible. A skylight is like this dynamic piece of art that makes you look up. And finally, better ventilation, because some of them can actually open up to let in fresh air, which is a game changer. And yeah, about that energy efficiency point, this isn't just some small thing. According to the U.S. Department of Energy, using natural light can slash your energy costs by up to 33%. Just think about that. That's a third of your lighting bill. Poof, gone, just by letting the sun do its job. And honestly, the benefits go way beyond just saving money. Study after study shows that natural light helps our brains produce more serotonin. You know what that means? It can genuinely improve your mood, make you more productive, and even cut down on physical eye strain. It's basically a wellness upgrade for your home. Okay, so the benefits are pretty clear, right? But now the big question is, which skylights is the right one for you? Let's dive into a little guide on how to choose your perfect window to the sky. All right, so this table breaks down the three most common types you'll see. First up, you've got fixed skylights. They don't open, so they're a great, affordable choice for places like hallways or closets. Then there are vented skylights. These guys open up, which makes them perfect for kitchens and bathrooms where you want to get rid of moisture and steam. And finally, tubular skylights. Some people call them sun tunnels. These are just genius for funneling light into small, tricky spaces where a big window wouldn't fit. Now, it's worth pointing out a quick difference here. For your home, those three types we just talked about, that's what you'll usually be looking at. But for commercial buildings, you're more likely to see huge, custom, and heavy-duty glass skylights. They're just built for bigger spaces and need to be extra durable. So how do you actually pick one? Well, it really comes down to asking yourself these 5 simple questions. First, what's your budget? Fixed and tubular are usually the most affordable. Second, do you need ventilation? Is fresh air a must-have? Third, how much light are we talking about? Does the room need a little boost or a whole flood of sunshine? Fourth, what's the style of your home? You want it to match, right? And finally, think about efficiency. Are you looking for top-of-the-line energy-saving glass? All right, you've done it. You picked the perfect skylight. So, what happens now? Let's walk through the whole installation journey, from that first phone call to the finished product. Any pro job is going to follow a really clear, structured plan. It all starts with that initial consultation where you talk about what you want. Then they'll handle getting any permits that are needed. After that, the real work begins. They prep the roof, they install the skylight itself, and then they add all those finishing touches inside. And the whole thing wraps up with a final inspection to make sure it's absolutely perfect and, most importantly, totally leak-proof. And get this might actually surprise you. A typical residential skylight installation, it usually takes just 1 to 2 days. That's it. It's an incredibly fast project for a change that's so huge and will last for years. So the skylight's in, your room feels brand new. Now what? Let's talk about long-term care so you can keep enjoying that sunshine for a long, long time. But I know what you're thinking. What about the scary stuff? What about leaks or condensation? That's the #1 question everyone has. So let's just tackle that concern head-on. Here's the key thing to remember. Most of these common problems are totally preventable. To stop leaks, just check the flashing and seals every so often. If you start seeing condensation, it probably just means the room needs a bit more ventilation. To handle heat or cold, make sure you choose energy-efficient glass from the very beginning. And to avoid damage from the outside, just trim back any tree branches that are hanging over the roof. Simple. Look, if you remember only one thing about maintenance, make it this. A proper, professional installation is the absolute #1 way to prevent problems down the road. Seriously, hiring a licensed, insured expert is the single best investment you can make.
So, as we wrap things up here, I want to leave you with a final question. Just take a second and think about your own home. That dark hallway or the kitchen that could use a little more life, or maybe the bathroom that feels kind of closed in. Which room in your home is just waiting for the sun?